Good morning, peoples. I've got a video I think that needs to be made based on past things. Anyway, what I wanted to say is listen, do you own Misty? Do you have a question? What impact is the 10 for 1 MSTR split going to have for you? So that's what this video is all about, plus a few more things that I actually think you're going to enjoy and like. So what do you need to know regarding this? Effective August 8th. Now it's interesting. I'll give you one little nuance. They're saying for existing shareholders, they have their shares in MSTR, and then on August 1st, they're going to get a dividend of 9 more shares. But it seems weird to me that they're not actually going to split the price according to what I'm seeing until August 8th. So that part I don't really understand. I'll have to do a little more research. But for most of us, especially if you own Misty and you're concerned, have no fears. There is no material impact on you or anybody else in MSTR. So let me take you through this, and in particular in MSTY. So if you own shares of MSTR, you will simply have no material impact other than owning 10 times the previous amount of shares. That's not true in Misty. You're going to own the same amount of shares, and Misty's going to do what Misty does in share price and yield harvesting from Yomax. So, and the price, when you get 10 times the amount of shares, the price will be 1/10 of the old price. Now, that all happens the night of the 7th, reflected in the pre-market and in the open on August 8th. Okay, so let's walk you through an example. Okay, so many of you went through the NVIDIA split, and you will remember this effect. Stock splits are a simple accounting activity to afford more of the company's shares in the stock market. It does nothing in actuality to the market cap, valuation, etc. There's one little other nuance that we don't care about, but corporations do. Corporations have a charter, and they are allowed, without shareholder approval, the amount of share issuance that has been previously approved. So what these companies do, just a little nuance, in advance of knowing that they want to do a split, especially like a 10 to 1. Think of how many more shares need to be allocated than in a 2 to 1. So they have to, in their charter and with shareholder approval, present the idea that they want to have a larger amount of shares. Well, most people read that as there'll be a split. So that has to take place because some companies don't have the ability to go split 10 to 1 or 5 to 1. They may have been approved for so many shares. So again, that's a nuance, but I just thought I would educate somebody if they ever read something like that. So let's take this example. Here's pre-split, right? So I just use 1400 in my example. I think later I go down here and I show the price. Sorry, that's on my second page, of like 1397 rounded. So let's take 1400 and say you own 50 shares of actual MSTR, because again, this video is to educate people that own MSTR and people that own Misty and any other kind of fund that plays off MSTR. What if you own a 2 times long MSTR? And God bless you if you own a 2 times short MSTR, right? I wouldn't say that it doesn't go down and you can't trade that for money, but I sure wouldn't want to be in one of those and hold it for a couple of years based on what I see. But what do I know, right? All right. So if you owned 50 shares at $1,400 strike price, so you had basically an account or an investment in MSTR that's worth $70,000 on paper, right? If you sold it, that's what you're going to get. Well, after the split on August 8th, you now have 500 shares. and they're priced at 140. Now, again, the market takes over. It could close at 143 or 138 or wherever it's going to go that day, right? But the open is set for a 1/10 value of the close, hence the share count being tenfolded on you. Okay, so if you own Misty, it has no impact, right? The EOMax fund manager writing options on MSTR, they're all adjusted automatically by the option market. Sorry, I forgot a space there. So I've done this many times. I've had options out there and companies come along and split, right? I'll have some long dated ones, I'll have some synthetics, and all of a sudden they get adjusted, right? Sometimes I didn't even know the stock was splitting. And it's like, oh, what happened? Okay, well, then the quantity and the price all get adjusted. So basically, I had the same trade as I had before. Okay, so we very likely will see a positive move up generally in the MSTR price as a reaction to the lowering of its share price in the market. Please note, it's subtle, guys. It doesn't have to happen. It's just a general effect. Now, if we have a pullback in the market of BTC, 5 or 8%, guess what? MSTR is going to generally reflect that, regardless of the split. But all things being equal, it tends to move up some. I wouldn't overreact to that. We just had it happen, right? And I was talking about it in one of my videos and didn't even read it. And one of the guys said, Bruce, the reason MSTR moved up and Coney didn't was because the announcement of the price. I said, hey, thanks. I didn't even see it. Once I went in and looked at it, then I thought, okay, here it comes. My subscribers and shareholders, when this gets out more public and it's digested, what am I going to get? I'm going to get a bunch of questions. So I wanted to do this in advance. And while I'm doing it, I want to give you a couple of other little valuable things that I think play out here. Okay, so institutional buyers, they don't care. They have millions in huge investments, right? They're not worried about is it 1,400 or is it 140. But oh, I see another spelling. Sorry about that, guys. When I knock these out, it's kind of hard using spreadsheets and not having really a spell checker. But I apologize for some of these. I see them instantly, right? But I'm so busy making the material for you guys. All right, so they don't care. One thing MSTR and NVIDIA have in common, right? What did we just have? We had a big dynamic GOAT market leader. I call it the stock market, Junior, right? And NVIDIA. Well, they did a 10 to 1. But what do these two stocks have in common besides they're in YieldMax and they're some of the highest yielding and most popular funds? Well, they both tripled in the last year, right? So whenever stocks move up aggressively, you're fairly smart, especially when you get even $300, $400. What is coin? In the 200s, is low 200s now. Amazon's 200. Eventually, these stocks will split, right? So I wanted you to be aware of that. So here's my final piece. I just got a few more, about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm done, guys. Okay. So let me give you some small tidbits. There are 6 analysts in Wall Street that are currently offering 12 months forecasts for MSTR. These have appeared over the last 3 months and will likely get more, right? It's a popular stock. So let's take a look at those. Again, I used a closing price of $13.96.76 and just rounded it, right? And here's the 12-month forecast across these 6 analysts. What's the high? 28.90. Wow. That's a double, right? I mean, we could triple in that time frame. You got to make a guesstimate. What's the low? 1,800. Okay, well, that's $400 more than 14, and that's 20 something percent. That's a pretty healthy, maybe even close to 30, high 20s, right? But I think that's very pessimistic in my view. What's the average? That's pretty reasonable. 2,100 on a $1,400 stock, that's a 50% increase. And on something that's gone, I mean, that's probably in order of maybe what you can see in NVIDIA, right? is like I say to people, I don't look for NVIDIA in the next couple of years to do 5x or 20x. Could it happen? Yeah, but I don't see it. I see, if anything, pressure on their margin. But no question, they're the leader in the marketplace of where they play. There will be competition, and 50% is good when you've tripled in the last year. So that's what is in store for these guys. So again, I'm bullish, but this is not financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. This is for fun and entertainment. That saves me for saying it at the end. Let me give you a little bonus, okay? And this is what I try to bring to my subscribers in my channel and in my daily and weekly reviews of Misty, Coney, Ybit, AMZ, GDX, etc. Okay, so whatever I can do to help the average guy. Some of you guys, some of the discords I'm in, there's some really smart people. I think we could all help one another. But I also have a lot of average investors, right? They're even passive. They just want to buy something and they need the income. So for them, they don't understand. I mean, you can go out to some of the trading views, probably the best and most accurate charting program out there, right? And I go there and I use it sometimes and I see stuff. But when I try to teach, I'm just giving them a simple diagram, right? I took this MSTR and I drew, an ascending triangle here. It's what I see. When I look at charts, I see patterns because I've been doing it for 30 plus years and options for 35 plus years. So ascending triangles in technical analysis known as TA appear during an upward trend and are regarded as bullish continuation patterns. Now, does that mean we don't break down? Absolutely not. It's a probability, right? I'd say it's 70-30 that we break to the upside. Now, if this was going in a different direction, it probably wouldn't be the case. And generally, your upper pattern is a little bit flatter. But we could, okay, when you look at a month, we could go another 6 weeks in this pattern and even hang in here longer and then make our break, right? Obviously, if we went to 900, I'd say it's breaking down. If it ran down there one day and reversed back in the triangle, same thing with breakouts, guys. We could run up to 1800, right? And oftentimes you come back and test that support line and then take off again. But I've seen false breakouts where one day it runs up to 1700 and the next day it's back inside the triangle. So understand that you look for probability. So anyway, that's what I bring you. I'm not going to belabor and go on and on. So again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Hope this was of value to you. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.